Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Krista Escamilla Show. Can you believe it's May? Wow, where is the year going? And I know this is a very busy time for you, so thank you for sharing your time with all of us. Before we introduce our amazing guest, I do want to thank our sponsors, because without them, we wouldn't be able to share the stories of West Texans. So a huge thank you to Rig ID Workwear, Omni Midland Hotel, to Thin FR, Midland Cap Co, the Locklin Hotel, and joincapclub.com. And of course, as I always say, support any local businesses. Support those. We would appreciate that, but support any local businesses however you can, because when you're supporting local, you're supporting someone's dream. And that's what we're about here at the Krista Escamilla Show. So thank you. Now to introduce our wonderful guest, it is an honor to welcome, first of all, favorite titles, I always like to say, wife and mom, but she also has some very amazing titles as well, besides those amazing ones. President of the local Texas Nurses Association District 21, Recognition Program Manager for Midland Memorial Hospital, Dr. Lori Forbus. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Is it okay if I call you Doc, Lori? What do you prefer?
No, please call me Lori.
Okay, Lori it is. So thank you for being with us today, Lori.
Thank you.
And it is National Nurses Week, so I'm excited to dive into that. But first, I'd just love to hear how you got to West Texas, because to me those stories are always just so important. How did you get here?
My dad was in the oil business, surprise, and we moved all around New Mexico and lived in Montana for a while, and we landed in Midland right about the time I graduated high school. And so I've been here ever since.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was tired of moving and transplanting, and so I was an adult and I could make that decision.
You're
so
like, I'm staying here.
I did, yeah. And so here I am.
I love that, and I bet Montana was beautiful. Oh,
yeah. You know what? Montana is beautiful on the western part, on the western side, but the eastern side where I lived was comparable to the Alaskan tundra.
wow.
So. It was not my favorite.
Well, I'm glad you got to Midland as fast as you could.
Yes,
and decided to stay here. Tell us how you got into nursing. Tell us a little bit about your career.
I used to be a restaurant manager at Wall Street Bar and Grill downtown.
Love Wall Street, by the way.
Yes,
Can we shout them out?
Yes, I
Best
do too.
bread ever. Love the salad. I mean, I could go on. A huge fan.
Yes, yes. So, and the owner, Lisa Johnson, was my general manager at the time, and taught me so many things, and I was very excited. I loved it. And then there was a point where I just felt like, there's more. There's got to be more, So one of my customers said, "Oh, so you jumped from the frying pan into the fire, and you decided to go into nursing." So I was like, yes. So anyway, so I chose nursing. It was a great kind of move for me career-wise, and it offered a larger audience, a bigger place that I could, really help people. Right. So I gravitated toward nursing, and I can't look back now. So I love it.
I love that. And where did you go to nursing school?
Midland College.
And I love that even more. Shout out to the Shaps. I think we have such great educators here.
Oh, yeah.
And have with that program. I've heard great things about it. I have not gone through it, but I've heard several people that have gone through the program. What did you love most about that?
Well, it was rigorous, and I felt like I was really doing something that was meaningful. And I'll never forget two things about Midland College. It's so funny. There are two things that you remember.
Yes.
I remember walking in the first time to talk to them about becoming a nurse, and I talked to Carmen Edwards, and she encouraged me to set myself up for success. And so I was like, I've never heard anybody say that, so it was great.
That.
Then Dr. Dorothy Joy, shout out to her. She was a very tough teacher. Was honestly
with a name like Joy.
I know, right? But
wait, she was tough.
Yes, but Dr. Dorothy Joy was she was our oncology teacher, and I just remember it was the one time that I was late for clinicals, and you had to be there ready to go, and in the conference room, and had to go over all your patients and everything. and I was late, and oh, you just weren't late for her class. And I tell you, it was the worst feeling I'd ever had. Just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm late. And I was never late again after that, because she was so very, very strict about it. But that's the way you have to be in nursing.
Right.
So I was really, I remembered that and never forgot it. And her class was one of the hardest. And when I passed, I cried.
Oh, I love that. Well,
It was
sometimes
so
those
great.
toughest teachers, I mean, they're the ones, they care so much because they do want to set you up for success.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I know that feeling when you feel like, oh my gosh, I let someone down. I was late. Right. I was
Right.
late. But you never do that again, right?
Right.
And so there's always a lesson in it.
Absolutely.
But I love that. I love that you had two amazing teachers that taught you so much.
And others, but those
Right.
were the two that, that stand out to me from Midland College. So,
Yes.
yeah.
What advice would you give someone that is thinking of that? Because I know there's so many people in our area, and we're really trying to keep educating our healthcare workers and then keep them here so they don't go elsewhere.
Right.
What advice would you give someone that's going into the program today?
Just listen to your instructors, ask questions. We a lot of times our pride gets in the way, and I'm finding this out. As a matter of fact, I'm an adjunct clinical instructor for the LVN program.
Oh, that's great.
At Midland College. So,
Full circle.
Yeah, right. Anyway, one of the things that I tell the students is, if you don't understand something, ask, and don't let pride get in the way of finding out what that problem is or what that means. If it's a medication or a process or whatever it is, find out what that is, because you can start talking like nurse language, and then people assume you know what you're talking about, and then there's going to be a point where you don't know what you're talking about, and you need to.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I would say is
love
ask 1,000 questions, and don't. Oh my gosh, whatever you do, just don't give up.
Yes, I love that. And there's no dumb questions. That I think is so important to remember when you're a student or you're young or you're new to something, is just don't be scared to ask the questions, because I bet you, and I guarantee there's probably 15 other people in your class that were thinking it. And they just didn't say it.
Yeah.
So don't be scared to raise the hand or go to the professor.
Courage is contagious. So
Yes.
when you start asking questions, other people will ask questions too.
I love that.
So
it is contagious. Let's talk about nursing. What is it that you love about it? What do you love about the people that you get to work with daily at Midland Memorial Hospital?
Well, first of all, I truly believe this, and I believe that nurses are the smartest people in the world. I
agree.
really do.
They are. I couldn't agree more.
Because when it comes to innovation and and finding a way to get something done, we may not always do it the way the book says to do it, but we find the most brilliant workarounds, which those are the innovations. Those are the ways that we improve healthcare and come up with the $1 million ideas, for whatever it is, a mechanism, a new way to do it, technology, whatever, So we're like the masters of workarounds. So,
yes. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever it is.
Absolutely. And I that's what I love about them. And nurses are just, I don't know, again, them being really smart, they're resilient, they can take a lot of hits, and they just shake it off and move on.
Yeah.
So
health is one of my favorite topics, and my husband and I talk about it all the time. We say good health is wealth. And there's nobody that can take care of your health than you.
Right.
But when your health does break down, nurses are there. Right.
Right.
So I want to talk to everyone about, and then we're going to get back to the nurses and some things in nursing. But let's talk good health, because I think there's things that people can do daily. Right?
Yeah.
That will prevent them from landing in the hospital.
Absolutely.
As a nurse, and you get to see, you're a person, so you're out in the everyday world,
right?
But you also get to live behind the curtain of the hospital,
yes,
and get to see what is being done. What would you say to people? What is the best preventative thing they can do for their own health?
If it was, I don't know. It's hard to narrow it down to one thing, but one of the things that we really have to be aware of is, is like what we're eating, what we're drinking. what we're doing, physically with our bodies, and then on top of that, we have to think about how we're processing the information in our minds and all the stressors that come on us. And recently I've been in a position in an environment where people, if patients specifically, if they had just had that one more conversation, they wouldn't be where they're at. Just processing their feelings and really, like trying to be in touch with that. And I know that seems sometimes it seems a little, woo-woo, but it's not. It's true. We all have to handle
woo-woo.
that. Oh, that's good.
give me all the
Perfect.
woo-woo.
I love that. Yeah. So,
it's so true, because I feel like some things are prevented. They're preventable.
Yes.
To a point. There's a lot of things in medical that are
sure.
That, genetics plays a big role.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And all those things. But when it comes to lifestyle and listening to your doctors and listening to your nurses, the biggest one I hear is, they told me to do that. I just didn't do it. They told me to take this,
right,
but I didn't do it.
Right.
So, when it comes to that, and I like what you said, so you saw a situation where if they had done maybe what the nurses or doctors told them,
right,
then it would have been preventable.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is sad when you see those situations, and unfortunately, we try to translate what medical, what all medical professionals say. We try to translate that into usable information for patients and communicate that really well with them. And unfortunately, we see that they're going to go back and do exactly what they were doing before, and they're just, kind of like giving us lip service at the time. But you hope that in some way, you've really met them where they needed to be. And it was meaningful enough that they changed their idea of what they were going to do next. And so, when you see the recovery, you see people actually recovering from whatever it is, it's really meaningful that, that you had a part in that.
I bet it is. I bet it's so rewarding as a nurse and as a healthcare professional, no matter what aspect you were in. Let's talk about, what does nursing look like right now? Because when I have had any kind of experience with them, I think they work a long day. What is, if someone's going to get into nursing, what can they expect?
They can expect to work hard.
Yes.
I mean, naturally, that's going to come with it. I think preparing yourself to take on, a lot of hours and a lot of information, and, dealing with time management and really learning the skills well that you need in order to, to treat your patients and perform the skills that you need to. All of those things, really matter. And there's accountability for that, because, we are licensed professionals. We do have accountabilities. We do have, governance of what we do and how we operate. And I think, as we're moving forward into like the future of nursing, I can see us, really, defining ourselves in a way that's undeniably that professional role. I think we've taken some hits recently by, the U.S. Department of Education and their declaration that advanced degree nurses are now more like a trade level rather than a professional level. That decision obviously was made with no nurse in the room, and that was, that's a shame that, that's happened. However, in response to that, nurses have come out in force, which is great. And so,
as they should, because I mean, what you gave me a statistic earlier. It was something like the percentage of how many health professionals or nurses in our country, we depend on them. It's
Absolutely.
a big number.
Yeah.
And I'm not a numbers girl, communication major.
That's okay.
Not a numbers girl, but I believe it was like 12 to 13% of the GDP.
I think it was,
or higher,
something like that. I think it's more, I think it's more of like, around 17 to 18%.
17 to 18.
Yeah.
Yes.
The national GDP is healthcare, the healthcare industry. But, by and large, I think about 80% of dollars that are spent, maybe I might be going over, it might be more like 50 to 60, but there's a large majority of the expenditures in healthcare are related to nursing.
Wow.
And, so if you put it in those terms, nursing would be like the largest, economic factor in the national GDP, or, one of them.
Right.
So, to me, I mean, we hold so much power right now because, having that much pull
Yes.
in an industry that's not going away anytime
Right.
soon, then we have this opportunity to really strengthen our voice and start speaking out about different things that really need to happen for nurses, and become part of national boards and local boards, and and have our voices heard. I think pretty much every governing board needs to have a nurse
Yes.
on it.
Agreed. And so you are the president of the local Texas Nurses Association. What are you currently advocating for? What is it that, when you're in those rooms, right? Because I'm so glad you are. What are you out there going, we need this?
Right. So, one of the things is, as the president of the Texas, as like a branch of Texas Nurses Association, then whatever the main association is advocating for, I'm going to, of course, advocate for that. Naturally, though, we have issues here in the Permian Basin that other people don't experience. One of the things is we have a very transient population, right?
Yes.
So we have nurses come and nurses go, those kinds of things. And then we have the populations that kind of come and go. So we may see certain health disparities within those coming and going, and those to me are the efforts that we need to be looking at and fighting for the people that may not get the kind of care that they need based on their income or their position in life or whatever it happens to be. So so that's one thing. But one of the statewide initiatives has to do with like school nurses right now. School nurses are basically, their hands are tied. Legislation was put into place where nurses cannot treat any of the students, school nurses, unless they have all their paperwork and everything in order on the computer, and everything's in there. So the parents, they're reliant upon the parents to have gone through and put in the information that was needed in order to treat that child. And in a emergent situation,
You don't have time to
you're
say,
stuck.
oh, let me go check and
Yeah.
make
Oh,
sure
hang
your
on.
paperwork
Let me
is
see
up
if
to
little.
date.
Yeah, exactly.
If someone's choking, you're not going to check on paperwork.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Right.
So you have to ask,
Yeah,
what does
that's-
that do for your licensure? Does that put them in jeopardy? So these are the kinds of, of things, the big decisions that get made. And we're not there to help them make those decisions. So, this is our moment. Like we really have to insert ourselves,
Yes.
into those situations, and
To be at the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be at the table in those big
To
decisions.
be at the table, and what do they say? If you're not at the table, you're on the menu, right? So
I love that. Yes. Very
anyway,
true.
so we have to be, really careful and methodical and strategic about how we put ourselves in those situations.
I love that. Okay, we're gonna circle back to more things and ways that we can support nurses. But first, we do something called Quote of the Day. We're here today with Dr. Lori Forbus. She is a lot of things, but wife and mom. But she's also the Recognition Program Manager for Midland Memorial Hospital, President of the local Texas Nurses Association District 21. And today we're getting to hear her story and hear the importance of nurses during Nurses Week. And so I do this little thing called Quote of the Day,
Okay.
Lori, because I'm a big quote girl. I feel like no matter what your job is, what your role is, where you're at, we all could use a little encouragement and
Absolutely,
motivation.
yeah.
And so
Okay.
you're going to pull one out and then you read it and tell me what it means
Okay.
to you.
All right.
And which card did you get?
Brave.
You got the Brave card.
Yeah.
Yes, I love
Okay.
that.
Okay. I am not a product of my circumstances. I am a product of my decisions. And that's
Ooh.
Stephen Covey. So
Love-
true.
love
so
that. What does
true,
that mean to
right?
you?
That's actually pretty perfect because I kind of live my life like, you got yourself into this situation. You figure out how to get, how to make it better,
Yes.
So I really try to keep, that a mind on that self-responsibility and not, blame
everybody
others,
else.
right?
Yes.
So and then, at the hospital, we have every morning we say, like a kind of a daily affirmation kind of thing.
Oh, I love that.
So, and the Monday's promise is, that I'm responsible for my health and happiness, and cannot blame others for my problems or predicaments. So that's like
say
the one that I'm just
more
like,
time. So this is called the Monday Promise?
Yeah.
And do you say it every Monday?
We say it every Monday. Yeah,
okay, one more
before work.
time so you can all write it down wherever you're at, unless you're driving. Then don't write it down. Let's just rewind.
Okay. So I am responsible for. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. How did I start? Oh my gosh.
The Monday's Promise. I am responsible for.
Well, responsible for myself, and I can't blame others for my problems.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
love that, though. It's so true.
Yeah.
Because you are responsible for yourself. And,
Absolutely.
There's nothing worse than, I don't know, someone blaming something on 28 years ago.
I know.
Something's like, okay, well, what's the next best thing that you can do today? What can you do today? And the best thing is to not blame others and just go out there and be responsible for your actions.
And just just take
that.
accountability, because ultimately it's going to come down to you anyway. And if you go a roundabout, you've just wasted a lot of time and energy. And,
yes.
Just accept it. And
I think that's fantastic. And what you do at Midland Memorial, I think, is fantastic as well. Recognition program. And I've actually been a part of one of your award ceremonies, the Daisy
Yes.
Award. And I have to say it was wonderful, because I believe this is just what I feel. And I have no scientific evidence in my head. But when people are appreciated, I feel like they work harder for you.
Yeah.
And so I love that y'all recognize the good work that people are doing. Tell us a little bit about the program and why it's successful, why it's working, and why it's important to recognize your team.
Absolutely. Well, I tell people, and I say it kind of in jest, but I'm really not kidding, but I have really the best job in the whole entire hospital.
You have a great job.
I have a great job, yeah. so I protect it as much as I can and try not to get myself in those predicaments, right? So we have a Daisy Award, which is a nationally national partnership with the Daisy Foundation, and they started it many years ago in response to their son having been in the hospital and suffered an autoimmune disease and ultimately dying, and they felt so compelled to recognize the nurses that took care of him, because they saw all the work that went into it, and the compassion and all. So they came up with the Daisy Foundation, and that was a way to recognize nurses on a routine basis. They had certain criteria, and they built the whole program. It's fantastic.
Yes.
And naturally, it's grown to be a worldwide sort of phenomenon. But
okay, so it's worldwide.
Oh yeah,
no
worldwide.
idea. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. It's everywhere. And so we're fortunate enough to have partnered with Daisy around 2012. Okay. So we've been doing it for a really long time, and have been involved with them for a lot of years. But anyway, so the Daisy Award is to highlight or nominate a nurse that gave extraordinary care, for someone's family or their, them or the family, or even nurses can write it about other nurses, etc.
Yeah.
Someone
that's gone above and beyond.
Above and beyond, yeah. And so that recognition is really great, and nurses covet that. They love it, And so if you, as a nurse, if you get a nomination, it's really great. And, on my badge, I got one nomination when I was a nurse, when I was a direct care nurse. And
but you never forget it, right?
I don't. I still wear it.
Yes.
I still wear my pin on my, on my placard. So anyway, just saying that it's very meaningful, and people love it. And so when they get the nomination, or they get the, they get the pin, with the Daisy winner pin, it's really a big deal. And it's something, that goes national. Like they have a national database, and their picture goes on there, and we put it in the MRT. We put it all over our TVs, around the house, and we put it out on our social media, platforms. And so we really, we try really hard to recognize the people that have done this, because it's a big deal. Yeah. 3 times a year we have sort of extra daisies where, we honor a daisy leader, and then we honor a daisy team that, went above and beyond, nurse-led team that went above and beyond for a patient. And then, of course, the ceremony that you came to was the Lifetime Achievement daisy, which is, extraordinary because, you have to have been a nurse for 25 years and, had a significant...
25 years. Think of that. That is a quarter of your life.
Yes, exactly.
That's
right.
Amazing.
It is.
I love that. And there probably are so many that are, I know that day there were 4 or 5 that were up for it. Yeah. And then, of course, the announcement of the big winner.
Oh, yeah.
But any one of them could have won, right?
Any one of them.
That's the beautiful part when we were reading their bios.
It came down to just, a smidge between each one of them. So anyway, that honor, it's an honor. To get that award. So, so it again, it's built itself into something that's, really much desired, and people love it and they value it. Then consequently, we also have a B award. We call it the B award, and that's our support team, our support staff for nurses, because without them, nurses, they can do it. But it's so much harder, and patients really benefit from that kind of support. So it's a team effort for sure, and so they get a recognition. That's a monthly. We do that on a monthly basis, and we do it, the same kind of way. Like we go up to them and surprise them with an award. So it's really nice, and so we've done that. And then we have an all employee recognition, Bravo, we call it Bravo Award. And that's something, that anybody can write to anybody about what a great job they did, or they helped them out that day, or patients can recognize them, staff, visitors, whatever it is. And, and that goes directly to them. So in each one of these programs, we have them all linked, which, again, Sonia Castillo is our recognition program coordinator.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she's a genius. Sonia, you're a genius. So anyway, she's worked to get everything really automated so that we have a fail-safe program where they get the nomination, it goes straight to them in their email, and then straight to their manager, so they can be recognized in their shift huddles, all that. And we continue to look for ways that we can recognize people more, and continue to work on helping to build partnerships with other people in the hospital, other entities in the hospital, so that we can really reinforce that recognition of how important it is, because it really does contribute to the overall well-being and that psychological safety, that we're trying to build in environments and work environments, and it creates just that, you get something like that, it's a dopamine bump. It is. So everybody loves those.
Knows it.
Yeah.
You know what happens when someone compliments you on something in a day, right? Whether it's they told you your hair looked great, loved your outfit, or, oh, I heard how kind you were to that other student, or whatever it is, a little shout out in your day, you're like, woo.
Yeah. You're like, yes. I love the way that feels.
That felt good. And that's so true. And I think have you seen a correlation between that and people staying longer in their positions?
We're actually working on that right now. We're trying to collect that data and really, prove that.
Yes.
So far, it's hard to pinpoint that with any accuracy. So, being from a scientific sort of background, it's kind of like,
but from the woo-woo standpoint,
from the woo-woo side,
I'm going to say, yes, it's working.
Absolutely, it's so working where,
But I believe it. I've worked at companies where they've done that, and I've worked where they haven't, and I would say the retention and the happiness of team members is higher.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be anything big that you're recognizing them for. It could be as small as the email coming in to as big as the Lifetime Achievement
Absolutely.
Award. I love that.
Anything,
I love that
anything.
y'all are doing that.
And and so building that has been really it's been very rewarding for me. I love my job. I continue to try, what else can we do, and so, and that kind of, leads us into like Nurses Week.
Yes.
we celebrate Nurses Week. We think we do. I don't know. It's probably because we might live in our own little silo, but we think we pull off a pretty good Nurses Week, every year.
That's awesome.
But we try to, plan like little activities for them to do the day shift and the night shift, because, we did it one year. The first year I did it like 7 years ago, and night shift was like, hey, don't forget about us. And I thought, man, I'm so sorry, because I'm a night shift nurse,
Right.
So I just made it a point, like, we totally are going to make sure we honor night shift. And so we
love
do.
that.
Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Because they're working hard too. Just
Oh
it
my
doesn't matter
gosh,
what
yeah.
shift you're on.
That's
and
right.
that's even harder because you're not getting the right sleep. Your pattern is a little off. And yes,
You're always like walking around like, okay,
Like,
by the time
what
you
day
wake
is
up,
it?
it's time to go back to work again. So anyway, but we just decided that was going to be, something that we do, every year. And we have there's one event. It sounds really silly, but it's not. It's a wonderful event. But we do like popcorn. We pop popcorn and we take it to everybody. And then we also have pickles. So it's popcorn and pickles, and everybody loves that. And we make little like popsicles out of pickle juice, and it's fabulous. Everybody
love it.
loves it, and it's exclusive to night shift. We've had day shift, tried a couple of times, like, hey, can we have the popcorn and pickles? And I tried one year. I was like, yeah, sure, okay, we'll go ahead and transfer that. Boy, no,
didn't work.
No,
Nope.
Brittany Travis is one of our nurse managers, and she leads that, and she's like, nope, nope. That's a night shift thing. This is the hill I'll die on. I was like, okay. You don't have to die. It's okay.
Right.
So we were like, okay, never mind. But, but we do things, this year, we're going to have like because we're going to start May the 4th, so we're going to do a May the 4th.
Be with
you unit decorating contest.
Man, I love a good Star Wars reference.
Right. So, and it was funny because I was looking at the calendar and, started, and then I was listening to a podcast of somebody else, and they talked about May the 4th, and I went, oh my gosh, I've got to do something with that.
I love it.
So anyway, it was one of those add-ons, like, hey, I know we're already doing this, but we're going to do this too. So anyway, but we try to like up our game every year, so that we can make sure that we're still wowing the nurses. We're still making them feel like they're recognized and appreciated, and and all the things that come with that.
Yeah.
Because it's really important.
It is. So wherever you're at this week, please thank a nurse. If you know someone that's a nurse, send them a call, send them a thank you. I know a lot of people do this. If they have a big event and they have extra food left over, they will drop it off.
Yes.
At the nurse. I mean, and that is a great way. Flowers, anything, whatever you could do to show some appreciation this week or any week. Please do, because those nurses, I don't think, because they're doing it every day, they may not realize how much a patient's family holds on to every word they say when they come in. And it's so true, because we've spent a lot of time in the hospital the past year, that when that nurse comes in, like you feel like you're just waiting on everything they say and everything they do, and we look at them with wide eyes, and I think it's important to honor them and appreciate them. So hats off to y'all for doing such a great job. Let's circle back to a couple of things, just the future of nursing, challenges y'all are facing, anything that we can do as a society to help support the healthcare industry.
Yeah, I really think just supporting any of the nursing efforts. There are a lot of philanthropic efforts by American Nurses Association and Texas Nurse Association and other professional nursing associations. They, by and large, all have some sort of foundation, and it's a way. It's a way, if people have the means to support nursing, they can put their funds into those efforts, which go for scholarships and help support advocacy efforts on the legislative efforts, and all of those things go a really long way into just education and just helping to promote the profession altogether. That's one way people can support us. Outside of that, it's putting your children in a position where maybe they consider it as an option for their careers. Introducing it as a career option, and allowing, supporting their children if they decide they want to go that direction, and
Absolutely.
And then I don't know. Outside of that, I think just recognizing that that nurses, without nursing, you don't you just don't have healthcare. I mean, we are literally the glue that keeps it all together.
Absolutely.
So,
it's so true. And what I've witnessed, it just on a personal level, is amazing what they have to do in any given circumstance. I mean, they are 100% caretaker, but they're also figuring it out. They're figuring out what that person needs, what the family needs.
Right.
What is the next step to getting that person healthy and back out the door and living their best life again.
Right.
And so on behalf of all of us non-healthcare people, I want to say thank you because I appreciate everything that the healthcare industry does. And I feel like there was a big thank you during COVID, right?
Sure.
Because we were so appreciative. No one got to stay home that was working in the healthcare industry.
No.
And I hope that the healthcare professionals feel that love still to this day.
Well, I think we do. I think, there was a sort of a love-hate relationship there for a while, and it was sort of unfortunate to see, how society kind of turned on nursing there for a little bit. But I think by and large, nurses are, the Gallup poll says it every year for the last 23 years, I think, with the exception of 9/11. I don't think that math adds up right, but anyway, nurses have been the most trusted profession. So
wow.
I do believe that people see us in that way. And however, I want them also to see us as the professionals that we are, the navigators of these, complex systems and building innovation and being the ones that are going out there. I mean, we're in informatics, innovation space, tech space. We have so many, people that are really reaching out and trying to come up with ways to serve our patients better, more comprehensively. And if I had my way, it would be like DoorDash. I mean, we would figure out some kind of DoorDash healthcare system or whatever, and really serve our patients better. And and I think we're all seeing the capacity.
Is helping with
telemedicine
that.
Is helping with that, but I still, I see that we have some work that we can do. We're built on a 100-year-old system, in the healthcare industry, and I think we have disruptors that are up and coming, and we're really working on learning how to support ourselves, each other a lot better, and train our leaders, and really perform more robust studies, and there's a lot that nursing is doing. That is going to lead us to the place that we want to be. And that's, to bridge those gaps and those health disparities and address these situations that really need to be seen and heard and changed.
I love that. You are so well spoken when it comes to that. I can tell you're very passionate about it. And I hope all those things can come true. If you had a crystal ball and you could look into the future 100 years, how would healthcare look like for you? Not only crystal ball, but I'm giving you the magic wand to make it happen.
That's so great. Okay, let's see. I think I would like to eliminate hospitals altogether. For them to be like they run out of business because people are so well.
Oh, I love that.
that they can, that they have to close down.
I love that.
So sorry. And then also I'd like for people to feel autonomous in their own care, and for us to do everything that we can to help them find ways to get healthier, but not wait until the point where they're really sick. Like, let's find ways to get healthier first, and really make it possible, for that, future planning. Like, okay, it looks like, in a couple of years, if you continue to do this is what it's going to look like. So let's change that trajectory now, because it's just one degree. If you just change it one degree, you can change the trajectory of your whole, journey.
Yes.
So it can happen.
Why do you think people don't care about their own health? I mean, I know this is.
I know.
That's a tough question, but why do you think that? Because I swear, the minute I turned 50, I mean, I was always kind of health conscious, but the minute I turned 50, I was like, okay, what vitamin do I need? How much exercise? How much do I need to live?
Right.
Where's the collagen? Where's the peptides? Where's the all the things? How come some people just go, I don't care?
I think it's very complex, and I think, like you said, there's DNA that's involved, genetics, how people are trained, psychologically. I mean, we're all trained in different environments, and if our parents didn't care, we're not going to care, and so I think it's multifactorial. And and so how do you reach each one of those people?
Yes.
That's the hard part.
The challenge.
And so but I really feel like nurses are trained to do that very thing, to reach those people
one-on-one, when they're looking them in the eye, when they're sitting in the bed.
Exactly. And
I love that.
and whether whether people respond to it or not is, again, their own responsibility, right? But we have to give them all the tools that they can have and reach, find that communication point where they really get it. Which is that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
So so I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people who just don't have their self-esteem in order. They don't really care about themselves. They there's a lot of that. So I think it's a much larger issue.
Yes.
But if we can meet people where they are, when it comes down to it, meet people where they are and find that connection with them, that they really understand it, then they can make, like I said, informed choices. They can make decisions based on, wow, I don't want to be that when I'm when in 2 years, I want to be like this in 2 years. So I'm going to change, and that's when it comes down.
You got to change.
That's right.
1%.
Just one little bit,
I love that.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Okay. We also do something called question of the day, Lori.
Okay, great.
And this is just a random question. You just pull it out of the bowl and see what you get.
Okay.
Oh,
this is so sweet. What does home mean to you?
What does home mean
that's really
to you?
sweet. Oh my gosh, safety.
Safety. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Safety, just that.
I love that. And I'm so glad that you've made Midland your home. We love getting to know you better today. We do something. We're getting kind of close to the end of the podcast, but I love to hear favorite things about you. And so first thing that comes into your head is what you're gonna, it's almost like I'm just throwing questions.
Sure, go ahead.
So first one is favorite fun fact about you we wouldn't know reading your bio.
Let's see. I love rock music.
Okay, hey! My husband's a fellow rocker. He loves some rock music. Yes,
that's funny.
And I am so thoroughly impressed with his 70s rock knowledge. He'll be singing a song, and I'm like, yes, yeah, that was good. Okay,
right.
I love that about you. Okay, favorite restaurant in West Texas.
You know what? I would be remiss if I didn't say Wall Street.
Oh yeah, that's so true. I love that. And we shouted him out at the beginning. We shout him out at the end. We love,
absolutely.
We're one of Wall Street's biggest fans. We go there once a week. I mean, it's so close to where we're at. We go at least once a week. Love the tortilla soup if you haven't had it.
Right.
It's, I think, Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Don't
hold me to that. Okay. I'm so glad you could back me up on that. Love that. Favorite coffee shop in West Texas?
I'm trying to think of the name of it. I like the place across from the hospital, and now I can't remember. Is it Higher Grounds? Okay, Higher Grounds.
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
I think did they just change names to Creative?
Maybe.
They may have just changed names. Yes, which is okay. So just check it out. The one right across from the hospital. I think it's Creative and Company, something like that. Go check it out. Good local coffee. Yes, love that. Favorite book?
Well, I hate to. It sounds cliche, but I really love reading the Bible.
That's not cliche. It's the best book out there. Okay. That is the perfect answer.
I mean, I do love that book. There are so. Oh my gosh,
it's a bestseller. It's a bestseller, Lori.
I know. It seems you can read it over and over again, and it never gets old.
Never,
right?
never. And you pick it up at any moment in your day. Yes, it's gonna speak to you.
Right,
I love that.
Right. So I started reading. I started reading it from beginning to end. And I'm about halfway through.
Good for you.
Now, and it's a
thick book. Yeah,
but and it's just one of the, like it sits on my table all the time, and I just go
it.
and like read a little bit, every day. So anyway, but that's
I love it. Favorite podcast? You had said you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Favorite podcast?
Yeah, I listen to. I listened to the confessionals.
Oh,
I don't know if you know that one or not, but anyway, there's one. It's called the confessionals, and I just love listening to it because it's
What's it about?
It's kind of out there. It's a little bit conspiracy theory type realm, but it's a lot. It talks a lot about God and spirituality, and the different things that go on, in our sort of spiritual world and that kind of thing. And
Ooh,
so
I'm excited to check
I
it
really,
out.
I really love it. So
Love that.
yeah.
Okay, favorite life hack. And I can't wait to hear it because I like hearing what nurses' life hacks are.
Right. Oh my gosh. I don't chat GPT.
Hey, Chat GPT. My husband too. He is on fire for Chat GPT right now. My kids laugh all the time. We're like, did Dad get on Chat again?
Did Dad chat that? Yeah.
You know what though? Chat is so smart.
Yeah.
It helps you. Back in our day when we were growing up, if you're under 50 and listening right now, there was this thing called an encyclopedia.
Right.
And so we would have to go look everything up on an encyclopedia. Now with ChatGPT, I feel like it's just making our lives a little better and easier and faster.
Yeah.
And I love that that's your life hack.
That's so funny. I know it sounds so silly, but I don't know.
No,
anyway,
I love it. I think
it could
it's
be
great.
Controversial. I don't know.
No, it's not at all. I think we're at the point in life where, yes, we shouldn't depend on it, but yes, we need to embrace it.
Right.
That's just my personal, not that anyone's asking, but my personal opinion on it is that you have to embrace the technology at some point, right? Because if we didn't embrace technology or any of these things that are changing in our future, or at least look at it as an option, we'd still be where we were 100 years ago.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you just got to go, okay, let's give it a try. If it's not for you, it's okay. It doesn't have to be for you.
Yeah.
Well, why not? I love it. Favorite hype song? You're walking into a meeting and Lori needs to feel her best. What are you listening to?
September.
Oh,
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I love September. That's such a good song, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you remember the 21st night of September? We would sing all day, but we're not. No, right now, if someone's going, no, please don't.
I know. Stop.
No, I love that song. Great song. Okay, favorite memory in Midland?
Oh my gosh. Getting married.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And how many years are you celebrating?
We'll be 35 this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's amazing. Well, then I have to ask, what is the key to 35 years?
Oh my gosh. Well, you have to have something in common.
Yes.
Definitely. And I have a very understanding husband. So, he's pretty flexible and adaptive, and it's just really supportive. So.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, support each other. I think that is huge
Absolutely.
in a marriage. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank
Love
you.
that. 35 years. Wishing you many, many more.
Thank you.
We are coming to the end of our podcast, but I don't like to ever close out with asking you, is there anything coming into today's podcast that you're like, oh, I hope we got to talk about that and we haven't yet, that you were like, you know what, I think this is important to my story?
Yeah. Not really. I think we've covered everything. I really, I just, when it comes to nursing and being a part of that really great profession, I just feel fortunate. I've been blessed with so many opportunities, and and I can't recommend it highly enough.
I love that. We need more people to keep going into healthcare.
We do.
It is so important, and really our lives depend on it, right?
Yes, literally
our
literally
our lives depend on it. I appreciate every healthcare professional, whether wherever they're at in the spectrum, doctor, nurse, anyone that works in the hospital,
Right.
because it's a team, and it does
Absolutely,
not
yeah.
work without every single person that
Every
is
person,
choosing
right.
the healthcare profession. When one of your kids, when your loved one is hurt, is is not
Absolutely,
feeling
yeah.
well, who do you go to? And I feel like your profession needs to be supported 150%. So thank you from us and the community who are not in the healthcare. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
It is so important. We want to encourage more to go into this profession. So if you have a young person, have them go. I don't know if you do this. I'm like, have them go shadow someone. I'm sure there are programs.
Yeah, we actually
that
do.
are available.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good. As I'm sending them your way.
Yeah, come on.
Just go
Yeah.
shadow at any time. Just go intern. But I'm sure there are programs in place. See what it's like, because I feel like that is the best way for a young person, no matter what they're thinking of going into.
Right.
I've always said it in TV, you'll either love it or hate it.
Yes.
And I feel like that in most professions. Go see what they do. Ask the questions.
Yes.
See if this is something you could do for a lifetime or for the next 10 years, 20, whatever, wherever you're at in your life. And just see if it is something
and just
that
try
you want to
it.
do.
I mean, yeah, it's an amazing world. There, you get to see some miraculous things happen, and it's it's so fulfilling and rewarding, and come on down.
Okay,
down,
and
try it out.
Finally, favorite memory in healthcare. Favorite memory through the years.
Oh my gosh.
It could be anything that stands out that was a moment you thought, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Right. Probably when I was a very young nurse, or a new nurse, I was in the ICU area, and when patients came back and visited,
yes,
and they were well, and they looked completely different, and you got to see like the fruits of your labor.
I love that. Well, thank you, Dr. Lori Forbus. I appreciate you so much and everything that you do at Midland Memorial. Please share this with somebody. We hope that this has been a gift to you and your day, just to be able to help and shine a light on the great nurses and our great healthcare system that we have here in West Texas. Let's encourage more healthcare workers. Let's keep them going. Shout out again to Midland College Nursing Program. And thank you, Lori, for what you do. We appreciate you sharing with us today. Don't forget my mottos: dream big, believe, and never give up. Thanks for joining us. You make it a great day.